Hi, and welcome to EDDE, the Doctorate in Distance Education program. My name is Dr. Nathaniel Ostashewski, and you can see behind me that I'm standing out here in my bison field. And that's one of the interesting things about distance education. You can do it from anywhere. Participate in research and practice no matter where you are. So I'm an Albertan. I was in the very first cohort of this program 10, 11, 12, I guess 12, 13 years ago. It's been a few years, and for the last 5 or 6 I've been a faculty member in what used to be the Center for Distance Ed, Faculty of Humanities and Social Services, Social Sciences, and now we are distance education programs. So my background has been K-12 education for about 17 years, and about 10 years followed up with higher education, and now 4 or 5 as a prof. So I've spent time in Canada and Australian universities, did some work into Asia with some of the university I worked in Australia. A lot of my research when I was first starting to become an educational researcher, I was still a teacher, was actually about teacher professional development, because at the time I was in charge of technology and teacher development for our school division, as well as being a media arts and starting a couple of media programs that were actually started just after the digital world started. Meaning the early 2000s, when you could use or create digital video, and really many of the digital tools, Adobe Photoshop, all that kind of stuff, Flash, were just starting out. So I had high school kids make all kinds of educational artifacts way back then. Still would be relevant today if we could have a lot of teachers have the tools and have the expertise to work in that area. Certainly is that. I've done, keeping up on my K-12 stuff, I've done things along the 3D printers, iPads, in the K-12 world, digital storytelling, things that I think that are really make sense and are worthwhile for educators. In the higher ed world, lots of course design. My master's was in instructional design, multimedia development. And, a lot of the research that's interesting to me now is, how do you make use of all these things? How do you know with the 10,000 social media tools, because that's another area I spend time with, social media and education, specifically higher education. How do you know with all those tools which ones to use? Are you sure that Twitter's worthwhile? Are you sure YouTube isn't? And if it is, what does that look like? A lot of my research these days is around the MOOCs I've been involved with. I've really, in my dissertation, worked on something that was a MOOC, Network Teacher PD, a design model for that. And that's still relevant today. In fact, it might be even more so, because it gives out or provides some instruction about what the design elements are. So a lot of my research is around the MOOCs, what's happening, when should an instructor or facilitator engage with students in a MOOC or an online course, around those kinds of things. Video, what should you put in your video? Take a look at my name on YouTube. You can see a lot of my Pell MOOC video clips. They're almost all of them are done out in the field. Why? To catch people's interest, and a lot of the MOOC takers around the world live in rural areas. So I, just am different, and that's the thing. Trying to be a little bit different so that people can listen or can stay connected in a different way. So what do we need in terms of those differences? Some of the things I've been working on recently is coding facilitator posts. What kinds of posts are at the beginning, middle, end of a course to create a community of inquiry. I use tools like Flipgrid, most recently in the last couple of years, to build communities. And you will have an opportunity when you come across me in 802, because in 802, we'll use Flipgrid as part of building our online community inside that course. And you'll have a community within your degree program, but within a course around a certain round of topics, we'll be looking at using Flipgrid I used that last term, and lots of good reviews. Not every week, 3-4 times. That's the kind of stuff I'm interested in finding out. Is when do we put a little bit of video clips? When do we put video engagement? When do you reach out and remind students? And some of that is based on literature that's been around for a while, no doubt. But again, with them, some of it's around the multimedia twist that I engage in. So happy to chat with you guys more when we meet live. Hopefully you'll get an interesting perspective if you go and take a look at a few of my links. If I have a chance, I'll put them underneath this so you can see a couple of the more interesting ones that are relevant. And see you online.